Good morning, all you buff guys and gals out there in the world doing amazing things. It must be Sunday because I am joined by my dad, Richard, and my brother, William. How's everybody doing today?
Absolutely wonderful. I've been to the seaside today, so you guys know where I've been.
I can hazard a guess, yeah.
And you, William?
I'm doing fine as well, Thomas. Thank you. And how are you today?
Doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day outside. The sun's just barely coming up. I've got no complaints.
That's good to hear. Right, so let me find this presentation.
Yeah.
Share the thing. I'm looking forward to getting back to Austria, so I don't need to mess around with this one screen anymore. But let me just and share window.
The infamous technical difficulties. When we start selling merch, we're going to have to make some technical difficulty merch.
Exactly. So, do you guys see the screen yet, or?
I saw it pop up but then go away.
Share screen. Window. 3 buff guys. Share.
Yep. That's it.
Okay. So, episode 36. Another week. Oh, we had a new picture from William this week. What did you call yourself, William?
A chunky monkey.
Chunky monkey. When was this?
That was about a year ago in September.
You look like a heart attack on the plate there. It looks like you're fit to burst.
I do. I know.
When you compare that to this, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah. And that was September. So now we're in October. We need to get some up-to-date pictures. One for you, Thomas, and one for me. So that'll be my responsibility over the next couple of weeks. I also need from you for the next broadcast. Now, the next broadcast could be difficult because I'll be on the road next week from England back to Austria. So you guys will either need to do it by yourselves, or maybe we even skip for the first time in 36 weeks. But
I actually have I have my distance, but I haven't. So I've walked so far this year 1,711 miles.
Okay, you send that to me then, and I'll update this thing.
Sure.
So looking good, but I am well on my way to Boise, and I know I need to add another 20 miles for Nampa.
Just another 20. But at the rate you're going, you're gonna be there in no time.
Okay, so we always agreed right from the beginning we need to focus on the positive, not the not so positive. So the positive is I am still on track for my my distance. Yeah. Let's start with me this week. For what went well this week for me, what went well is that I had 1 or 2 really good days of steps. What went well this week was up until the time that I came to Nanny and Granddad's, I was able to practice reasonable moderation and self-control. So by exclusion, you now know what didn't go so well. I'm at Nanny and Granddad's today. Just had a Sunday lunch, and that was enjoyable but challenging. However, in spite of that, I'm feeling good. And last week I set myself the challenge of doing at least 18,000 steps per day. And I have done that today. Normally, as you guys know, before the call, I like to have got the steps under me or behind me, but today is a little bit different. But every other day, except for today, I have exceeded the 18K steps goal. And of course, today I will exceed it. What about you, Thomas? How's your week been?
Well, I think the proof is going to be in the pudding in the next slide or two. It's been a great week. Very, very happy. Work is good. Life is good. I've realized, or rather, Lily realized for me that it is less than a year until I get married. Less than a year until I become a happily attached man, and so I'm very, very excited. We're sort of getting to the end zone here for the weight loss, and I'm going to really be ramping it up. I feel great about it. I feel excited about it. I cannot wait for these next coming weeks and months. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. So I'm all around very, very positive, very happy.
Good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
William, over to you.
So my week went very good. There were a few. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Thomas, can you hear him?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like we've lost William for the moment. William, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think he's out.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Sorry, having internet problems. I've had a good week. I've had a few days where I was not so well behaved concerning alcohol and stuff, but yeah, no regrets.
Yeah. Well, again, no regrets. If you enjoyed yourself and you had a good time, you showed us that picture from a year ago. You're a different guy. You look completely, you're a changed man. So, enjoyment is a huge part of this. You've got to enjoy it, but moderation as well.
Those two words will come in very handy for today's topic. That will come there in a moment. What about the exercise bike, William? Did you manage to get on it and do something?
Yes, I did. I was out almost every day this week. I used it yesterday for an hour, and it just felt really good after the hour because you're drenched in sweat. And unlike walking, I mean, some days you can walk for an hour and not sweat much. But then if you use the exercise bike, you're guaranteed to sweat a ton. So that's good.
So
13K steps, I managed it almost every day except for one day.
okay.
And today I still have to do it.
Okay. So with the bike, was that your real bike with a fixed tire, or was that an exercise bike?
No, that's the exercise bike.
Okay. So we're all doing very well, actually. Okay, so measurable goals. You still haven't given us a commitment on what you will finally be at the end of the year, Thomas, but I guess you're still working on that. For me, I'm, as you guys know, I'm not weighing until I get back to Austria, but I need to set that to a red light now because I've been indulging a little bit too much. However, focusing on the positive, we need to focus on the positive. My steps are definitely working, and I'm well on track to the 5,000 kilometers in 2021. So over to you, Thomas.
I think getting into the 36-inch trousers is going to be doable, very doable. The losing the 4 kilograms, like I said, I'm already shying away from that because I think that's a too easy of a goal, especially for where I am right now. And I've really cut down on bread. Bread hasn't really been an issue for me at all. I've enjoyed having bread when I've had it, but there are so many alternatives out there to it that I'm not missing out. The other night, Lily made a vegetable curry, and it was incredible. We actually just got a bunch of veggies in, cut them up, threw them in a pan, put on this low carb simmer sauce, put that on some rice, and it was great. Had a really good meal. Since buying the house, the amount of food that we've had delivered to us has decreased in a huge way. I think we're definitely making more of an effort to spend time outside in the yard doing work. Our days are fuller. We're doing more things. We're having fun, and we're taking on projects, which I think that is going to be the bedrock of the new me. is doing projects and spending time out in the yard and not having food or unhealthy drinks as a reward for that.
You're right. Having something to do, something that you have to get off of the couch for, something that when you finished it, you can look at it and say, I've done that.
Yeah.
Or we've done that. And then sit down finally and enjoy it. So, okay, good progress. I want to know by next week, I want to know the target, because you've danced around the lose 4 kilos for the last few weeks. Let's have a number by next week, okay?
Okay.
All right then. William, 6-pack, how's it going?
Yeah, as I said, it's still not a long way to go, but a way to go. And it definitely would be manageable until Christmas. I just see if I have enough motivation, but I think I'll find it somewhere.
I am
Okay.
convinced you will.
Mhm.
All right then, so today's topic. I find from my own experience that old habits are so hard to break. So the question from me is, should we really try and break the old habits or just enjoy them? What do you think? Let me explain why. You know where I've been today? I've been to Minehead.
Mm-hmm.
What normally happens at Minehead?
Fish and chips.
Okay, so lifeboat station,
Yeah.
fish and chips. I didn't have the fish and chips. Not today. But I'm back in the UK and I've had a few things, old habits. I've had some pork scratchings. I've had some beers, things that I wouldn't normally have in Austria.
Right.
So should I not have had them? Should I look at them and say, no, 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 no? Or should I say, go for it? What do you think, William?
Well, I think about with the fish and chips, because why would you have them at grandma's house then, but not in Minehead?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to cut back where it's not as special, maybe, or I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky, but I certainly don't see anything wrong with if you're on holiday that you do have the occasional bad thing for not bad thing, but just treat really. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are your thoughts, Thomas?
We might see things a little bit differently. I don't know, but I've been to, thanks to you guys, a lot of countries. You've been to a heck of a lot more than we have. Almost everywhere I've been to has had fish and chips in some way, shape, or form. None of them ever come close to what England has. I think that when you travel, there's certain things that you can only get in certain places. It just makes sense. And maybe refusing or denying yourself that isn't necessarily the right way to go about it, even if it's for the right reasons. What if instead of doing fish and chips for you, what if you did a fish and chips shared between you and mom? Or what about if you got I don't know, I'm sure they have a kids portion. And I don't particularly like to do this myself, but you also don't have to finish the portion. You can, you don't have to finish it. So, if it's something that you really enjoy, see, I love going to England. I love the English food. It just brings back so many great memories for me. So I think I'd have a very hard time going there and saying, you know what, we're in Minehead. Let's not have the fish and chips.
Yeah, let's go and eat a salad. It's just not the same, is it?
It's not. It's not. But there's got to be a way around it. You shouldn't have to sacrifice all the progress you've made over the week for that one fish and chips. Maybe you can ramp up your exercise in the evening, or you can say, hey, we're going to the beach tomorrow. I'm going to get a really, really good walk in. either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and then make a smaller portion or what have you.
I see it exactly the same way. For me, if you deny yourself the memory, and the memory is what makes you feel good. Fish and chips are good, but they're not great. You can have good fish and chips, and you can have bad fish and chips anywhere in the world. But sitting there at the seaside, in Minehead, for example, that's a memory shared by us all.
Mm-hmm. Good memory,
So,
very good.
Yeah, so some good memories. So what I decided when I came to England this time was I will definitely do the things that I enjoyed. I will definitely eat the things I've enjoyed. But I will not overeat them.
Yeah.
I really enjoy an English breakfast. A few years ago, I would have come over here, and in 2 or 3 weeks, I would have gone out and I would have had 4 or 5 full English breakfasts. I've had one. And each day, Grandma said, "Would you like bacon? Would you like sausage?" I said, "No, thank you." "Oh, but you need more for your breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day." And you know the story.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And on one day, last week, we went to Bath. Once we get to Bath, will you come with us for a coffee before we start shopping? And I said, "No, ladies, I'm going for a walk. And I'm going to have a breakfast." And I went and had a cooked breakfast, a good one. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And the fish and chips. I enjoyed the fish and chips in Lawton. If Nanny and Grandad had been with us, and if there hadn't been a roast dinner on the table today, I would have had fish and chips. But I would have really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't break the habit because it's a good one.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I said to Nanny and Grandad, "This evening we're going to treat you to dinner from the Chinese takeaway." And that's what we did. And we relived a memory. Grandad had his chicken curry, didn't share it with anybody. And we had some other food, and it was enjoyable. But I woke up today and I thought, I've had enough Chinese now. I've had enough of these things. I've done my exercise, so I feel good.
Yeah, yeah. In the moment, I've had weak. I'll probably be back in a little bit, but in the moment, I know what it's like to think. When I get back home, am I going to regret not having this? And then there's my mind that's down here that's telling me, yeah, you're going to regret it. You better eat it now. But I think if you put some real thought into it, I think everybody knows the things that are important, and what you could do is you could get your fish and chips or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be that. But the first thing you do is take away, because I know that the chips are in abundance typically. What you could do is you could take that first bit, just get rid of that, get it out of the picture, take it away, and then you're not going to have that battle of, oh wow, yeah, get rid of it. But I don't know if you heard the first part, but ask yourself, when I get back home to my regular, boring, everyday life, am I going to think to myself, gee, I wish I had that. I wish I'd taken part in that. I wish I had that fish and chips. But it sounds like you've done it sounds like you've enjoyed yourself and had a good time, had good food. It sounds like, yeah.
You're on mute.
Oh, I think he's still on mute there.
Can't hear you.
He's broken.
Okay, double muted.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, so the proof will be the scale when I'm back in Austria. But I'm
Scared.
convinced once I'm back in Austria, it's going to be cold turkey again. I like cold turkey, by the way. Cold turkey for me, and I'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's next. So, looking forward this week. It's now Sunday. We're leaving Nanny's on Tuesday, and we're heading back to Austria on Sunday. So I plan this week to get back on track. I've had the things that I've enjoyed, the things that I've wanted. They're kind of off the list now, even though I told Grandma that I don't have a list of things that I need to have before I go back.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent some time with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of drinks with my dad. I've had those things now. So I'm going to start to get on back on track in terms of food.
Mm-hmm.
And exercise. I'll keep it pretty much the same level as it's been for the last week. What about you, Thomas? What have you got ahead of you? What are you committing for this week?
Well, I've got a heck of a week. I know that I'm going to be. I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of paperwork at work, so my steps aren't going to be as high as a result of work. But what I would like to do is have a temporary challenge where I bump up my steps to 14,000. Basically, like I said, I know I'm not going to be doing a whole heck of a lot of work this week, so I'd like to push myself to make sure that those steps get done. So I'd like to bump it up to 14.
Okay. What about you, William?
Reduce the carbs. I've been going a bit crazy this past week with pasta and bread now, but pasta, a lot of pasta. So we eat a lot more salad. I mean, I already eat a lot of salad, but maybe eat more. And use the exercise bike. I'm not gonna do the steps because it's just too time consuming and it's not as good as the result isn't as good as if I were to cycle or use the exercise bike. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, you're definitely right, because as you can see on the next slide, I'm doing a ton of steps. This day here, this was upwards of 35, I think 36,000 steps in one day. And that was good because that was uphill a bit. But yesterday I did 24,000. But these were walking with your mum and your sister, so very slow.
Mm-hmm.
So doing 20,000 steps in Austria, up towards Sternberg or up Dobrach, are worth far more than 40,000 steps here. So that's where I fully agree with you with the exercise bike, William. In terms of calories burned, you can achieve a lot more in a shorter space of time with the exercise bike than you can just pure walking. Do you find the bike boring though, or do you just?
No, I just turn on the TV, just cycle. I mean, people say that you burn less calories if you're focused on something else but doing exercise, but it's all right.
All right. Okay, so let's look at these steps then.
Well, real quick. I just noticed I must have sent you the wrong steps because it's going from Wednesday to Tuesday. I just resent you my steps, and I'm glad I did because it's more than what's on here.
Okay then. So I can't get up here easily. So, but from what you just sent me, your average steps is 15,000 per day.
Yeah.
So you must be feeling good then.
I'm pretty proud, pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, so from what I think, I mean, this was taken at almost midnight yesterday, obviously. So the Tuesday steps that you're seeing is accurate. I did get close to 20,000 on Tuesday, and then Monday was about must have been about 17,000.
Okay.
But yes.
So even the minimum day is well ahead of the 11,000 now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So how did you manage to do so many on Tuesday then?
Tuesday, it was something that I tried to. I went out of my way to get steps. I would purposefully leave things in certain places so I know I'd have to go back and get them. I did a lot of running at work. Just walked whenever I could. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm really worried about next Sunday. Because I'm 190 something days now without skipping a beat on my daily goals. And if we're doing the non-stop drive on Sunday, it's going to be really hard to get the goal in.
Are you on the ferry or on the train?
On the train.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you're allowed to get out and walk around now, but it's still...
Yeah, but that thing's over as soon as it begins. It's so fast.
Yeah. So that's what I have ahead of me. I know that I can get the weekly average well above 18,000. So what I may do is decommit the goal for one day. I've got to work this one out. This is obsessive now. I met Uncle Dave and Auntie Jackie there. They're in the living room there now.
Oh,
and they think, pardon?
Lovely.
Yeah. And they think that me and your mum are crazy now. Because we keep walking around the living room and we keep just, every time I stand up to walk, your mother stands up and she jogs.
I'm just gonna say, I don't think you're gonna call it for a day. I knowing you, I don't think you're gonna. I just don't think you have it in you to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let it slide for a day. I don't think so. I would be, if you called me up and said, yeah, I just let it slide for a day. I'd be shocked. You're telling me that you didn't somehow get those in. I would be.
Yeah. 18,000 is 3.5 hours walking.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
The drive to Oscar is 22 hours.
How you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to do
the math.
And you could pull the car for a stretch.
Let me think.
18 hours?
It's longer. It's more like 20 something hours. Plus, I lose an hour in the day.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
Oh, gosh.
All right, then.
But why did you spend the night somewhere?
That's a possibility. Not decided
Somewhere
yet.
by the seaside, maybe.
We'll see what comes. We'll book the crossing later on, and we'll work it out somehow. And what about you two guys? One of you will need to arrange this thing for next week, and maybe I can dial in from being on the road.
I'll be happy to set it up, whatever you need. But we're gonna get this 3 buff guys done.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is already built into my Sundays. Like it's not a Sunday if we're not 3 buff guys.
Exactly. All right then. So Thomas, bring this thing to a close.
All right, guys. Another week in the books, doing exciting, wonderful things on our long but fun road to personal improvement. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Make great choices, and goodbye for now.